Cheer, cheer the red and the white, honor the name by day and by night. Lift that noble banner high, shake down the thunder from the sky.
Hello and welcome to the Bigfooty Podcast. My name is Bonz. Joining me today we have Swansrule.
Hey, how you going?
And Lukeparkerno1.
Hey, boys.
Oh, Lukeparkerno1 actually making his debut, so welcome, Luke.
Always happy.
Yeah, you get a round of
Thank
applause.
you.
The
Thanks,
finals debut. That hasn't happened since
Thanks,
Richard
boys.
Hadley, I don't think.
Thanks, boys.
Now, it's been a very good news week so far for us Swans fans. We've had Callum Mills win the Rising Star. Suck it, Essendon fans.
Deserved it.
Fantastic news.
Deserved it. I won money on it.
You won. Oh, how much did you win?
About 1,500.
How much did Dave King win?
Well,
Sorry?
next game
How
in
much did... Don't worry.
next game in Melbourne, you
Yeah,
can
that's-
shout us all a drink now.
Yeah, will do.
Hopefully after a
Next time.
celebration on the first week of October. And, of course,
Exactly.
an even bigger achievement in my opinion, 5 All-Australian selections. Congratulations to Kennedy, Hanbury, Parker, Franklin, and Swansrule. Do you remember the last player?
Rampy?
Yes, correct.
Yes. That's the most we've ever had in one season, I believe.
Yes, it's the most we've ever had in one season, and I'm pretty confident I can hear SM screaming and complaining that Grundy did not even get a nomination.
That's
Even
that's a
he
joke.
is livid.
No, everyone should be. He
Wouldn't
deserves to at least be in the squad of 40, and I would take Rance or Talia out, Grundy in. No hesitation to do that. And
He wasn't in my side. So I didn't have a problem with him missing.
he should have been in the squad
Didn't
of
have a
40. Robbie Tarrant.
How many defenders do you want? How many defenders do you want to take?
Take Tarrant out. Grundy in.
Taran was just as good though. To be fair.
Grundy played 21 out of 22 matchups in the best defence in the league that he leads. He deserves an All-Australian nod, in my opinion.
He deserved. I believe he did deserve it this year. But that being said, I don't know how many players you can have from the one team. 6 may have been pushing it just a little bit. That being said, the main board melt.
We should have had close to 22, to be honest. Really.
Geelong got 8.
Yeah, but
Geelong got
didn't
8
Geelong win 21 out of 22 matches that year?
Yeah, true.
So was
true.
So we almost did that. We only lost like 3 games by about a point.
That's true.
I think I don't know. It was a good effort to get all 5 in, and not a bad team overall. Really, you're never going to make everyone happy with it anyway. So
Exactly.
yeah. I'm just glad Rampy
always-
got in. That's the main thing. I think
Yeah.
he deserved it.
Rampy getting
It's always
in
good.
was
Rampy deserved it.
insane. How bad do you reckon the Western Bulldogs will be feeling right now for rejecting him all those years ago?
Well, I mean, if you're the West Bulldogs, how bad do you feel anyway? You haven't done anything since dinosaurs roamed the earth, so you care. You missed it on Rampy. You could have had the Reeds. Not there much to chop.
you had runner up in the Rising Star this week.
Your highest paid player is a potato, so plays in the reserves. Well, yeah, if you're a Dogs fan, I question your sanity, to be honest. Really.
No, I question the sanity of any Richmond fan. Even Ruse had to start pointing out that their club is an absolute mess today in his
Well, at least
farewell
their older
speech to
Richmond
Melbourne.
fans live through some success. They're just having a bad end to their life, but yeah, any kid that starts going for Richmond now should be, their parents should step in and intervene. I think quite clearly because that guy's a joke. And it doesn't make sense because they're so big off the field and they've got everything that you could possibly want, but
Their
they just can't get
facilities
it
are
right.
amazing as well. I know that from experience.
Did you see that team?
They
Someone picked a team of players they missed out on in the draft. It was actually a pretty star-studded team.
Oh, so to be fair, I mean the one that they keep going on about is Tambling, and Tambling before that draft was almost the number 1 player. So I don't blame them that draft. I think they've made some blues though. But every club has. I mean, look at our. I know we've got a good side right now, but look at how many first round picks we butchered.
Yeah, we saved our best
I mean,
selections for the rookie draft.
Yeah, and late, I guess.
Well, what's the point?
Parker went in the third round. You know, you had Rampy went late. Nick Smith went late. You know,
I'm pretty confident. We were told to scout.
Everyone keeps going on about our Heaney and Mills and all them, but really, that's only two players. I mean, the rest of us, they've all been players that everyone was able to pick up.
We don't have, like, if you think about it, first round selections in our current team, like, you've got Gary Rowan, who was number 6 and has had a fairly bad run with injury, to say the least. We've got Lance Franklin, who was a former number 1 pick, McVeigh, Heaney and Mills.
But also Buddy was pick 5.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Tom Mitchell as well.
So that's 6. And that's
Mitchell was like pick 19 or whatever, wasn't he?
Mitchell was a father-son, so what are we
he was a father-son and a first-round pick.
Before they fucked around the rules. Look, considering we had a trade ban, I think we compete quite well against Richmond. So,
well,
Richmond weren't that far off.
If you actually think about it,
the Cobras under 12s will compete well against Richmond.
Hampton Rovers reserves would beat Richmond. I'm pretty confident on that right now. If they dished out what they dished out to us last week. Now, speaking of last week, is anyone here a little bit concerned that we've essentially had 2 buys going into finals?
Not really. I think the Richmond game was about getting confidence and fitness. It's neither here nor there to me.
It was essentially a training drill.
Side for us, so it was nice we actually put the foot down and played 3.5 quarters. I know we eased up a little bit, and then Cochin suddenly emerged once the fizz was right out of the game. He stood up, but that doesn't bother me. The week's bye bothers me as a fan because I think it was stupid. But I suspect that week off's going to be more detrimental maybe to the teams win the finals this week and then get another week off. We might see that come into play in the prelims a little bit. It could be the year you sneak it from 5th, like an Adelaide Crows type team, who has to play 4 finals to win it, but we're pretty good and good enough to be top 4 all year.
Can't see it. Can't see anyone. Can't see anyone outside of the 4 winning. I think Adelaide were benefited by their draw, and they're also benefited by the world's best injury list I've ever seen, and they've just copped a few late that hurt them.
I would actually argue that. I would argue.
My more meant it's the rest period makes it more likely a team outside the top 4. I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah. I think if someone outside the top 4 might win, it might be West Coast. Because if you look at the sides that are in the top 4. None of them have star ruckman anyway, so they're not gonna go into a ruck and get pantsed in the ruck just because Nick Nat's not there.
Now I call Naismith a star ruckman.
Sorry,
I'd definitely call Naismith on the way to becoming a star ruckman.
Who's not which teams don't have a star ruckman? Did you say?
I don't think anyone in the top 4 do. I think they're very solid.
What about
I
Tippett?
don't think anyone in the top 4 do. Oh, Tippett's not back to his best though.
What about Mumford?
Yeah, if he stays on the park.
He's not taking annual leave, is he? I think he's there. And Smith and what's his name? Geelong go all right.
They're no better than what West Coast have. I mean, West Coast have Lycett and...
If West Coast won't get out too, they might beat the Doggies, but Geelong or Hawthorn will thrash them.
Maybe. I've seen... I don't think Hawthorn are playing that well. I think if Geelong get past the... let's just call it the Stevic factor, then... I'd give West Coast a chance. I mean, they're not going to go in favourites, but I'd give them a chance. The only issue West Coast will have is that then they've got to then play away again to make it. So I give them a chance. I don't have Adelaide any hope, but I've got West Coast as some hope. I just think that the winner will come out. The winner will come out of the top three.
I don't know. I think Adelaide are more. I'd be more worried about playing Adelaide than West Coast. Just from my opinion, they had a slip up last week, but their form hasn't been too bad. But in regards to we were mentioning injuries before, probably the best piece of news to come out all week. Alex Johnson up and running again, which is, well, marvellous to see. The smile on his face and the fact that all the players came in to watch was superb.
It's a nice little boost going into the finals because I think clearly a popular player in the group and popular with the fans. And I think that's just a feel-good story. It's really about quality of life and fitness and health. And if he can get back to any sort of footy, that's a bonus. And I hope he does because he's a classy player. But, I think that's just heartwarming for anyone Swans related. Because what's it been, like 900-odd days since he's run? Or
906.
Yeah.
It's just crazy when you watch that 2012 grand final. He has the last kick, I think, and it's like that's pretty much his last kick in the seniors. Since then, he hasn't done it. I think did he get injured in the seniors game?
He got injured in the first preseason game afterwards.
I think
he took a mark
he got
and
injured
then fell
in
down.
the NAB Cup, didn't he?
Yeah, he took a mark and fell.
Was that the second time?
That's right.
Oh yeah, no, that was the second. He did it in the preseason game the first time, though, as well.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And
the second time he did it was in a reserves match.
The only positive that's ever come from it is that I don't think we would have seen Dane Rampy necessarily become what he's become. But
a wannabe porn star with that mustache?
Yeah, exactly. So, with that
he's definitely got the swagger of a porn star. I'll give him that, both on and off the field.
He's got his future career all mapped out. Put it that way.
There are so many bad things we can say right now. We've got Moist for Mills, Horny for Heaney, ramping up Rampy. Yeah, let's just not go there.
What's Franklin's? Fucking Franklin's.
No, it could go worse.
Look, we may as well get into this week's match. We're playing a team that's got a bigger flog than Sam Mitchell and Toby Green. Looks a little bit like an oyster, if you ask me, but I'm sure.
Most punchable head in the AFL.
They've got a few on that list. They've been turds since they came into the league.
Toby Cates the gold medal, the silver medal, and the bronze. His head's that big.
But he's a dangerous little bastard to play against.
I'll tell you what, if we don't keep him in check this week, we're going to get our pants pulled down. Because that's why, and I'm sure we'll get into changes a bit later, I would, even though he's only had half a reserves game, I would consider Jones.
Look, if you're willing to drop Cunningham, I'll consider anyone. So...
That's the only player I can see Jones replacing would be Cunningham, because this week I'm pretty confident is going to be Mills in, Marsh out.
It seems the most likely, because if you're trying to guess what Horse will do, and a few weeks ago I would have thought Benny McGlynn would survive, but I think you can't drop him after a 5-goal.
No, you can't.
Game, but I'm worried about Ben McGlynn in a final.
Look, you can't drop him after 5 goals, but let's cut to the chase here. It was Richmond.
He looked all right against North too. Like he looked a little bit more back. I don't know.
He looked okay against North. I
think he looked pretty good against North Melbourne.
I think he's had a shit year when he's played, largely. But I think Longmire sees him as best 22, so I don't think he's going to drop him. And he's definitely not going to drop him on 5 goals.
Put it this way, I'd want him at his best. I'd want him in the team in the finals.
Oh yeah, but if the best, I'll put.
How much closer could he be to his best right now? He just kicked 5 bloody goals.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably is. 5 goals against Richmond.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's I just hope it wasn't just because it was Richmond.
No, I think credit to him. He looked good against North. I wouldn't drop him.
I didn't. To be fair, I didn't see a lot of the North game. I saw the second bit of the North game because I was at the races.
Where's your loyalty? Fuck.
Yeah, priorities, man. Priorities.
My loyalty was winning the quaddie that day.
Did you win the quaddie?
Yes.
Okay, that's all right then. Now, speaking of this game coming up this weekend, obviously, let's just move back on. I'm just going to name some players, and I just like for GWS, and I'd just like to get your opinion on how we match up against them, because in the past with GWS, especially over the last few seasons, we've been pretty hot and cold, and I'll be honest, I'm a little bit worried, especially going by the mid-season performance we had against them this week. So, first player, what do we do about Tom Scully? I believe he's a bit of a barometer for GWS, and when he's up and going, they're very hard to beat.
Don't have anyone as quick as Scully for a start to run.
We can, maybe Kieran Jack could be an option. It depends on how outside you want Jack to play, though.
Would you play a head-to-head, or would you use a pure tag? Like, they've got a pretty damn good midfield.
I wouldn't tag Scully. I think I would be tagging. I agree that Scully's important, but I think Dylan Shield is what makes that midfield.
I think
if you shut down Shield, you shut down a lot of their quality ball inside 50.
I think on Scully, I would be paying close attention at the stoppages. I'd be trying to stop his ruck, but I wouldn't have one player out there on him all the time, and you just want to stop him getting on those runs. So you want to be beaten into him a bit, and he doesn't strike me as Mr. September, to be honest. I think if anyone's going to have an occasion get to him, it's going to be him.
You've got to win the clearances. I mean, if you look at Scully played fantastic the last time we played them. But we got killed in the clearances. We got killed in the clearances. That's where we lost it. We didn't lose it because Tom Scully was kicking goals.
We lost it because Tipper got injured, Rowan got injured, and we lost the clearances. We had Rose who can't kick 20 metres, and I think that Callum Sinclair with his concrete boots on can't ruck for shit. So we ended up just letting Mumford give first use of the ball to their midfielders, and it ballooned out. So they got lucky. They caught us on a good day. Well done, but. I'm not. I respect them to a degree, but everyone's worried for wrong reasons. I think this is Tom Scully doesn't bother me at all, to be honest.
How about Shane Mumford?
I think I've got four players that I really worry about. One is the punchable head.
I think Bonz was running.
Only because I just don't think we've got anyone that matches up really well to Green. I think we can match up.
Crowbar to the head. Shit.
Crutch to the head.
Who are you talking about, Bonz?
Give me a cricket bat.
Sorry, what do you say, Swansrule?
I thought you were going to the next player.
Yeah, well, the next player I was going to suggest is, how do you guys feel about Naismith and Tippett against Mumford?
Tippett's fitness is obviously a bit of a concern. In terms of match fitness, but hopefully he got better each week for the runner, and I'd like to see him do a bit more forward that he hasn't the week back. That'll come with time. He got into good positions against Richmond, but everyone was having a ping, so it just didn't suit him.
I mean, you guys hated the bye. The bye came at a good time for Tippett.
I think Tippett needed more match fitness, if anything. It would be nice to see him line up in the reserves.
Yeah, but after a long layoff, you might need a week off just to freshen up a little bit. I don't mind it.
They even said he could have even played the week before he came back. It's just we couldn't raise him off the injury list. It has only been 7 weeks.
Yeah, if anyone needed weeks, Tippett. I hope he had a nice training session last week because he just needs running around.
He ran. Yeah, I think I heard he ran well today at training. So.
They didn't even train today. It was a day off.
Oh, was it yesterday?
He ran well there, Bonz. He might have run around the car park or something.
Fair enough.
I think I think
Yesterday,
Tippett's the
maybe.
best ruckman on the ground on the weekend if they're all fully fit. I think Tippett's a better ruckman than Mumford. And I know Mumford's a really good ruckman, and I think Naismith and Tippett combined, if they're fully fit, will be too much for Mumford and GWS to handle. But that comes down a little bit to how Tippett's playing. And we haven't seen them combine with Tippett fully fit yet, with Naismith maybe taking the back seat in the ruck, because Tippett is still the number one ruckman and he plays better as the number one ruckman. But is he fit enough to do it? I don't know.
The one thing I'd like to see happen would be Tippett taking the first bounce. I always think with Tippett, getting his hands on the ball early, regardless of what it is important.
Like any ball, table tennis, cricket ball. No, he's
a bit of a confidence player.
Yeah, he is. I agree with that.
No,
what do you think, Bonz?
I'd agree
when he's
with
up and running. Yep.
It'll be interesting to see if we can, get Tippett up and running. The other area I do worry a little bit about with GWS is, and this is being said because we've had the number one defense all year, I'd be pretty happy if we can avoid too many one-on-one matchups. Because I just believe with their defense, we're going to most likely be isolated. I think Grundy's going to have to play on Patton. I wouldn't want Grundy playing on Cameron running up the field. So that'll leave...
Rampy will go to Cameron.
Rampy will go to Cameron.
Who goes to Lob?
That'll be Aliir.
Aliir, and I reckon he matches up well because he's got a fantastic vertical jump. That's going to be a big difference this time. At least this time we don't have Ted Richards giving up 5 goals.
No,
that's
Patton's
true.
been but against crap. Cameron's been average for about 8 weeks. He had one good game against Brisbane, I think, but he hasn't done
They've been playing him up the field. They've been moving him up the field to try and free up space.
One player I'm worried about is Cameron.
Well, you're worried about you.
I'm not worried in the forward line. Cameron. It's not Patton. Patton can't kick.
What do you mean Patton can't kick? He'd be one of the best set shots in the
6
AFL.
goals.
Only 6 missed though.
Jonathan Patton.
He's not going to get 10 chances against us.
Well, not. He had 6 slide off the side of the boot on the weekend.
I hope he doesn't. If he gets 10, we're getting absolutely walloped.
Yeah, but if any team isolates any defence 1-on-1, they're going to kick goals. It's all about team.
And he can kick straight. This year he's kicked 34 goals, 15, and he's coming to form at the right time of the year.
He just looks like the sort of player who could tear AFL apart. Let's be honest. He just, I don't know. Not to quote Wayne Russell because he's an idiot, but he sort of looks like Tarzan and plays like Jane a little bit sometimes. I think, but of late he's been really impressive. But I just hope it's because they played some shit teams.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty happy with Grundy on Patton anyway. I think he's a good matchup for him. And Cameron hasn't been playing bad football. They've been using him in a different role. So they've been moving him up the field to try and free up space in defense for players like Cameron to actually take a mark and get a goal. Because at times this year, especially when they're running forwards, when GWS have been running forward, they haven't been clearing out their forward line too quickly. So they were kicking it long, and they had Patton, Cameron, Lobb, Johnson, who, whilst he's a medium-sized forward, still can jump up for a mark. Mumford, when he rests up forward, all leaping for the same ball, which caused problems.
Yeah.
So they made a change about 7 or 8 weeks ago, which has worked for him at times, where they've forced Cameron to lead up and create space behind him for Patton to go in. Yeah. Especially because Patton's a better set shot at goal than Cameron.
Cameron's been good. I should correct myself. He's just coming off All-Australian sort of level. He hasn't been as damaging or worrying. It's more. But you are right.
He still kicked almost 50 goals though.
No,
he hasn't had a shocking season. I think he got 49 goals from memory.
He's a great player. I think it'll come down to. I think as talented as Patton, Cameron, and Lobb are, can we control?
I agree with you, Swansrule. It does come down to whether we can actually control the midfield.
And control Stevie J and Green, though, because they're talented. Yeah. Gee, this Lukeparkerno over the top.
The other player is Devon Smith. Devon Smith's another one.
I'm not too worried about Devon Smith.
Devon Smith can piss off. He's a cocky little shit.
Their whole team's full of cocky little shit.
Yeah, pricks. And what the fuck is that giant mascot in the shitty colours? Not to go off the point, but Jesus Christ.
It looks like a bloke that goes for the mascara.
Yeah. No, look, I think Stevie J will be pivotal. Got the finals experience, and he's a big game player.
Agreed.
There's no doubt about that.
I would have loved
absolutely.
Rampy to been able to play on Stevie J this weekend.
Yeah.
That would have been ideal.
But is that an argument to keep Marsh in the team then? Can Marsh take a tall player and free Rampy?
I wouldn't feel comfortable with Marsh trying to take a tall player. Whilst he's 190 centimetres and he's an okay grab overhead, he doesn't play tall and he isn't great on body contact generally.
No, and Rampy's played tall all year, so he's not going to switch up.
Yeah. So I think Stevie J will have to be...
That's why I would consider Jones.
To do what?
Would you? Well, he could play on one of those players up down back.
Jeez, Jones with only one game back from injury on Stevie J, I'd be terrified of that.
I think Nick Smith's going to have to play on him.
Nick Smith will have to play on Stevie J. Devon Smith, I think Cunningham isn't actually a bad matchup for. He's got the speed to go with him.
Yeah, and then you've got Mills, hopefully either loose or
at least,
Toby Green.
Yeah.
At least Devon Smith won't kill us, even though the Cunningham do nothing.
Cunningham, I think, is vastly underrated on our board. He hasn't been as bad as everyone says he's been this year. I think he's been useful.
Look, Cunningham can play and Cunningham can run. My problem with Cunningham is that he's scared. If he gets under pressure, he just turns around and snaps the ball over his head and he turns it over. So if he wants to take the game on and use his pace, which he has, I actually always like Cunningham forward, to be honest. I don't think there's a spot for him there, but he's a good mark for his size.
Well, I wouldn't mind him playing on Scully as a winger.
Wouldn't have the endurance.
I don't think his tag would work though. Like,
he wouldn't have the endurance. Cunningham's a sprinter, and he wouldn't have the aerobic endurance.
I know they're not going to do it this week. I'm realistic. They're not going to do it this week. But I don't mind him playing on a player like that.
Cunningham isn't great for tagging, because whilst he'd do a good job for maybe a quarter or so, he'd run out of puff. He's good with one or two efforts, but he can't make repeat efforts. His body just isn't built that way. That's the reason why we don't see him as more of a midfielder and he's a bit more of a flanker.
Yeah.
We can't use him on someone, especially like Scully, who would just run laps all day and not even get puffed.
Talking about what they're going to have to stop, which I think is more important. Like, obviously there's Buddy, but I think Gary Rowan of late and the space he's in and the pace and just the X factor he's bringing to that side. It's a big final series for him because I know we all shat the bed in 2014 as a team, but he, in particular, he sort of went missing after coming off a good prelim. He sort of in form finally, had a nice consistent run. He could have a cherry ripe for a really good final series. I think he provides a lot of dangerous matchups down there. I think he'll be hard to stop if we use him well.
I actually think GWS have a really good matchup for him in Nick Haynes.
Yeah. Oh, true. I didn't think about him. So that shows what I know. But I think we get Rowan going and he wins his matchup. That'll go a long way to us winning the game. And I'm pretty excited to see, hopefully, XR and I guess all of those guys, XR, Papley, Hewitt, Mills to a lesser extent, he's sort of got class written all over him. But those guys who are inexperienced, because people look at us as this experienced side against GWS, but we've got quite a few guys making their finals debut or haven't played many finals at all. And it's going to be, can Papley step up in a final? Can Hewitt contribute? Can Alier keep his cool? And can XR, kick his couple of goals a game still in the finals? Because, if they do that, then I think we're a 4 to 5 goal better side. But actually, pressure gets to them.
Final Siren on the main board today. If our listeners don't know who Final Siren is, here's the guy that did Squiggle, which is quite potentially the greatest AFL prediction device of all time.
It's the most orgasmic AFL statistic page in the world, I think.
Yep. But he does all the stuff with a squiggle. But he came up. He came up with another statistic today that he posted up. GWS's top 10 contributors to their team are all have an average higher age than our team, which is quite scary. Most of our contributors are between the ages of 23 to 28, and GWS has got quite a few older contributors which have pushed up their age, such as the likes of Mumford and Steve Johnson, and Shaw as well. So,
if Longwell lets Heath Shaw run around and get 40 bloody unchecked behind the ball, I'll throw a brick through the fucking TV, I tell you. But just don't let him off the leash. He sets up so much play for that side.
Who would you have on Heath Shaw this weekend?
Oh, you almost got to tag him in the bloody forward. Like, yeah,
Hewitt.
Yeah,
George Hewitt.
Because he's such a good tackler. Yeah. What about you, Bonz?
George
Who would you have?
I'd love to see. I think they're gonna force Nick Haynes on the Gary Rowan, but if we can get Gary Rowan matched up on Heath Shaw, that would be ideal because we can burn him in the other direction, and he'd have the pace to make sure Shaw can't get out in open area.
I wouldn't want Rowan burnt out by having to just sit on Shaw.
If Rowan doesn't have an impact and Heath Shaw doesn't have an impact, that's a win for us. Every day of the week, that's a win.
I'd rather have Rowan or Shaw in a marking contest. Rowan's going to win, and if Shaw has to be accountable for Rowan, he can't run off and create the play.
It'd be the perfect matchup for us.
I agree.
Whether we can facilitate it.
The other one that might be an option would be McGlynn.
No, I wouldn't trust McGlynn.
No. McGlynn, hopefully we can keep a little bit, and he can just have that energy impact on the game. I really like what McVeigh's doing forward of the centre at the moment, setting up some play rather than being in the back line as well. I think that would be important. And the North Melbourne game sort of showed me a little bit. I sort of noticed Kieran Jack's impact more from him having a week off than being in the team, as stupid as that sounds, because sometimes
he was playing sore for about 6 weeks.
And he was still having an impact.
Shits me off, but when he's not there, we do miss him. He's a good player.
Neither can Hanbury.
Yeah, Hanbury gets more of an impact than Kieran Jack does. So we'll forgive him for that. And he's good mates with Buddy. Kicking's not a prerequisite for the Swans midfield. Let's face it. Just get the ball and thump it forward. And Buddy can't mark anyway, so just get it near him and he'll do the rest. That's as simple as that.
He's going to be critical. That matchup between him and Davis, who I can't stand, is going to be absolutely critical. We need to clear the 50 a bit more and give Buddy a bit of space to lead. I think we can beat Davis on the lead. But if it's
Davis has surprisingly good
bombing it in like we did last time, they will eat it up for dinner.
Davis actually has surprisingly good closing speed, which he's good off the start of the mark. But if you can keep your repeat efforts on him, that's when you can catch him out. So if we can get Buddy up the ground and then streaming back towards goal, that's when I think he's going to have an impact over Davis. I'd be very worried if we can get into a one-on-one contest or we're trying to get him flat out in a lead off the forward line. That isn't going to work for us.
But we don't want Buddy put him under the ball to try and run off him as well, because he sometimes gets caught up trying to do that. I've liked how he sort of drifted further up the ground of late, and X has played deep and taken the grabs. So I don't know. I think you play to your strengths. It'll come down to the midfield, as you said, Bonz. It allowed Will Parker, Kennedy, Hanbury, Mitchell, and Jack, and that get on top of their midfield and win us the game, and the ruck battle in the midfield will decide it. I think at the end of the day, I respect them. I think they're a nice, fast matchup. They're probably the most difficult matchup for us in the top four in some sense, but I expect to win the game. I'm pretty confident. I don't know about you guys.
No, I'd expect to. What are your final predictions for this weekend, everyone?
Look, I think that provided Tippett is fit and we win the ruck, because I think it'll come down to the clearances, and I think that whoever wins the clearances will more than likely win. I think the Swans will win by 4 goals. The ground factor is what it is. I think the ground's actually more of a safety sort of hazard in terms of and that's a shame we're not playing at a ground we've played at some stage this year, but they haven't played there either. So hopefully they'll be overawed. I actually don't think GWS will be overawed. I think to give them credit. I think they've got quite a nice maturity about them for a young list. But I still expect us to get on top in the midfield and have a bit too much firepower up forward. So 4-goal wins, my prediction.
3.5. 3.5 for me. About 20 points.
I believe we'll win by about 30 points. Anyways, everyone, thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Swans Bigfooty Podcast. We'll be back next week, hopefully celebrating a good win. Thank you and good night.